Good afternoon, children. First of all, congratulations to all of you as you all have been promoted to standard 8. Now, the situation you all must be knowing, it is not possible to go to school. So, we don't have other option and we all are teaching you online. I am your history teacher. Let's start with the very first lesson of history, that is the modern period. But before that, I would like to introduce the portion of standard 8 in social science. Children, you see, our social science has been divided into 3 streams, that is geography, history and civics. In history, you see, there are 8 lessons. 4 lessons you will read in term 1, that is in half yearly exam, and 4 lessons will be taught in term 2. Here you can see the very first lesson, the name is written the modern period. So, we will start from this very first lesson, that is the modern period. You all must be knowing that our Indian history has been divided into 3 parts: ancient history, medieval history and modern history. First one is ancient history, then second part is medieval history, and then third is modern history. Modern history. In standard 6, you have read about ancient history. In standard 7, you have read about medieval history. And now in standard 8, you will read about modern history. You all must be knowing that medieval history, in Indian history, the period between 8th to 18th century is known as medieval history. So, after the period of 8th to 18th century means from 19th century till India's independence, that is known as modern history. So, in this lesson, we will read about this modern history. In standard 6, in ancient history, you have studied about the period from Stone Age to the development of civilization and many empires in different parts of India. In class 7, that is in medieval period, you have studied about the rise of various empires in North and South India, Turkish invasions, Delhi Sultanate, regional powers, the Mughal Empire, etc. Now in modern history, we are going to learn about the modern period of Indian history which began in the 18th century. After 1707, when the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb breathed his last. You all must be knowing that Mughal period started after a very first battle of Panipat, that was in 1526, when Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in that battle, and Ibrahim Lodi was the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate, and after that Mughal period started, and then so many rulers came, and Babur, Humayun, Akbar, then Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. And the rulers who came to throne after the death of Aurangzeb are known as later Mughals. And the last Mughal ruler was Bahadur Shah Jafar II, and that period, his period ended after the battle of after the first war of independence in 1857. He was the last Mughal emperor of India, Bahadur Shah Jafar II. But after the death of Aurangzeb, the rulers who came to throne, they are known as later Mughals. So, after 1707, when the Mughal emperor Aurangzeb breathed his last, the crumbling of the old system gave place to new ideas and many new powers emerged on the political horizon of India. The ever-changing political scenario heralded the dawn of modern period, the starting of modern period, especially with the coming of the Europeans to India. During this period, India was exploited politically, socially, economically and culturally. In Standard 7, you have read that all the local rulers, they were unpopular among the masses and they were fighting among themselves only. And the East India Company, which came to India first of all as a trading company, this company took the advantage and slowly it took the control of our country. The East India Company was established as a trading company, but it took advantage the political instability. Political instability means after the death of any ruler, who will become the next ruler? That was not clear. And so, after the death of any ruler, the situation, chaos was there. Brothers were killing to each other, father was killing to son, son used to kill father, and like this, everything they were fighting for the throne, captured the power. So, this East India Company took the advantage and gradually took over the control of a large part of India. We all know East India Company first of all established its trading centers in Bengal because Bengal was the largest and the richest province of India that time. And in 1858, on 1st November 1858, with the declaration of Queen Victoria's proclamation, after when Britishers defeated us in the first war of independence, that was in 1857. This war is also known as Sepoy Mutiny. Why this war is known as Sepoy Mutiny? Because the soldiers started this war. Although Indians were defeated in it by the Britishers, but this first war of independence or Sepoy Mutiny shook the foundation of Britishers. And after this war, on 1st November 1858, Queen Victoria proclaimed and the power from East India Company went into the hands of Queen, British Crown. The 19th century witnessed various measures adopted by the East India Company to extend and consolidate its control over India. Like this company took military action, introduction of railways. You all must be knowing railway was started in which year? 1853. Railway was introduced, and then Britishers started railway for their own benefit, but ultimately it helped the Indians also. The Britishers introduced various postal services, they passed different acts, and then they took the control of our country. But the revolt of 1857 was a major event, but the colonial power means the Britishers, they suppressed it ruthlessly. Ruthlessly means mercilessly. and the British rule continued over India, but the discontentment, that is unhappiness, resentment against the colonial power, means against the Britishers, strengthened the national movement. National movement means the whole country, they wanted to get rid from the Britishers. And the establishment of Indian National Congress means on 28 December 1885, INC, Indian National Congress, which is presently Congress Party, known as Congress Party, was formed at Bombay. And the establishment of the Indian National Congress in 1885, on 28 December 1885, had far-reaching effects. So many major events took place in 20th century. That was, first one was the partition of Bengal. As I have already told you that Bengal was the richest and the largest province of India. So East India Company first of all established its trading center in Bengal only. But the Britishers wanted to divide the unity between Hindus and Muslims. So in 1905, Bengal was divided into East Bengal and the West Bengal by the Britishers, and the British officer responsible for this was Lord Curzon. The Britishers gave the plea that as it is very big, this province is very big, so it is very difficult to control, and that's why they are dividing Bengal. But the main intention of the Britisher was to divide the unity, to break the unity between Hindus and Muslims. In all over the country, the countrymen, they reacted very sharply. Swadeshi and boycott movement started. People started observing the day of partition of Bengal as Raksha Bandhan Day. Means they wanted to show the unity between Hindus and Muslims. And because of the unity of the Indians, ultimately had to restore the unity of Bengal in 1911. So first major events of 20th century was partition of Bengal by Lord Curzon in 1905. Then, as I have told you that Britishers wanted to break the unity between Hindus and Muslims. So when Hindu, this 28 December 1885 INC was formed, in which maximum Hindu leaders were there. So Britishers helped the Muslims to form Muslim League. And then formation of Muslim League was in 1906. Then Annie Besant started Home Rule League movement, that was in 1916. Then on 13th April 1919, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. It was a peaceful demonstration was going on in Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar against Rowlatt Act. Britishers introduced Rowlatt Act, and according to it, anyone could put into trial or could send to jail without being a trial. Means no appeal, no dalil and nothing, and the person was to be fined up to 1000 rupees. So this was a black law introduced by the Britishers. So the Indians were opposing. Peaceful demonstration was going on in Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar on 13th April 1919, and there General Dyer ordered its soldiers to open fire on the innocent Indians, and only one gate was there to rescue, and most of the more than 1000 people were killed in Jallianwala Bagh. So it was also a major event of 20th century. Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa arrived to India in 1915, and his arrival was also a major event of 20th century, as now Indians started raising their voice against the Britishers. So British government also introduced a series of reforms to pacify Indians, to make the Indians happy, so that they could not raise the voice. And they did lots of things to weaken, to make our freedom struggle weak, and that's why they divided Hindus and Muslims also. But India was able to end the British rule and gain independence in 1947 under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi and many other national leaders. But one sad thing was that unfortunately India was divided into two countries, and that two countries were India and Pakistan. And Britishers were successful in making division between Hindus and Muslims. Now children, you all know that the remains of the past, like old buildings, artifacts, inscriptions, books and other documents, are of great help in reconstructing the history of the ancient and medieval period. Now let us have a look at the sources of information of the modern Indian history, which are preserved in archives, and you can see them and read most of them. Now, from where we have got the information? These sources of information of modern history are, here you can see, first one is British document, then it is books, third one is letters, writings, speeches, etc. Then newspapers of that period, then internet or databases, old buildings, artifacts and people. These are the sources of informations. There are mainly these 6 sources of informations, and one by one we will discuss about this in our next class. But your today's homework is that you have to write in short, only in point wise you write what are the sources of information, and then what I showed you, that the major events of 20th century. What were the major events of 20th century? That is partition of Bengal, formation of Muslim League, Home Rule League, then Jallianwala Bagh massacre. You can write also the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi. Understood? Now these you have to write. You make one history notebook of standard 8, that when the school reopens, it will be converted into your classwork notebook. All the notes will be written here. You write these 2 questions. What are the sources of information of modern history? And then what were the major events of 20th century? In point wise only you write it, and then you submit it on our WhatsApp group. I will solve your queries also there. Thank you.